What's dangerous is when the universe pick you and you put on the magic glasses. There's rules that go with them. You can never take them off. You never see things as they're supposed to be. You see things as they are. And you can never force nobody else to wear them.
I think while I lie awake and contemplate tonight are wearing me out. Well, maybe tomorrow the world will wake and get it right, but I have my doubts, yeah. During the day, well, I design machines of war that scream through the sky. 'Cause I, for one, I like to go to bed free at night under these stars and stripes. And I have my doubts that we're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts, and I have my doubts that we'll make it back out. Yes, I have my doubts, but they'll wind you up and pull the cord until you're spun right out. And I don't understand. Roll the dice and raise the price to feed the machine's mouth. Call it the progress of man. And I have my doubt that we're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts. And I have my doubts that we'll make it back out. I have my doubts, so I'll drink my stuff and raise some hell and shoot my guns to the end of my time. You can have the booze and go to hell and take the guns, but I know they won't be mine. We're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts, and I have my doubts that we'll make it back up. Yes, I have my doubts. So we're all messed up and out of touch. Let's text someone who's in the other room. So don't wonder why we don't say hi or know anyone. I might as well move to the moon. So maybe I'm wrong. Well, I hope that I'm wrong. So maybe I'm wrong. Well, I hope that I'm wrong. Well, the things I think while I lie awake and contemplate at night are wearing me out.
Good evening. Hope everybody's doing well. So before we get started on any new news anyway, we got to clear something up. There is something very disturbing in the chat. And, dude, Harambe is fine, man. I saved Harambe about 3 or 4 years ago. Harambe's fine. Give me Harambe. Hand me Harambe. Right there on the computer. Right there, dude. I saved Harambe about, I don't know, 4 years, maybe 5 years. Well, it was right after we moved to Highland. So probably about 4 years, 5 years ago, I happened to run across Harambe in an alley, man. He had the shit kicked out of him, man. They left him for dead in an alley, man. And so I seen him in the gravel there. And, well, we've been taking care of him ever since. So, been doing pretty well. He, very, very strict diet that he's on, but does very well. So, yeah, we do have Harambe, and Harambe's not alone. He's got a few friends over there, too, like a pig that flies or something, and then I think there's a dog, and I don't know. Harambe's got friends, though, so he's not lonely. So, just so you know, Harambe's just fine. I saw that thing in the laying in the gravel. Jen and I were walking back home from going to the library. I looked down and I just happened. It was right after the whole Harambe episode, right? And I picked it up and started screaming Harambe. It was hilarious. Anyway. Man. So, news-wise, yeah, my ass was spending a lot of time flying again today. I rode some roller coasters, too. That was fun. Man, that'll freak you out, man. That's all I can say. That thing'll freak you out. It was enjoyable. Got a little queasy from the roller coasters, but man, those things are some humdingers. But anyway, did a little bit of flying, getting over my issue with heights. Did really well actually today. I didn't have nearly the issues today, and I actually went flying for a little bit in an F-35B, which of course has the ability to hover. And so I played with that for a while. That was actually enjoyable. The F-35's not one of my favorite aircraft, to be honest. It's just not that great. And just to be real honest with you, it's not. However, it is a handy tool, especially if you have the B variant and you happen to be less than 50% fuel. Because if you're like over 50% fuel, you're not hovering the thing. It won't hover. It'll just crash. But anyway, so went and flew around in it for a while, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to try a chopper. And I got into a chopper and a couple of different ones, actually. Flew a chopper for a little while. But I didn't have any issues at all, and I was even, cranking up the, everything on a chopper, the collective, the throttle, everything. I guess you're doing it in unison. It does it for me. I just hit my throttle. But anyway, yeah, not an issue today. Not an issue today. I got in, what was I in? I think I was in Vertigo. The plane, it's like a copy of Vertigo, which is Mike Patey's little, I forget what the hell those things are called. He calls his Turbulence, though. Actually, I said Vertigo. He calls his Turbulence, Mike Patey. And anyway, it's pretty much a copy of that. Flew it for a little while. Did a few insane things in it. Got an F-16 for a little while. Just enjoying it. That was the entire intent of getting it. And I did. I got up, and after I had coffee started and all that, I started setting up my flight stick and my rudder pedals, and I went at it pretty quick. It's good. I'm glad. Oh, wait. I thought I had that switched over. I guess I actually accidentally bumped it. Or either that or I never did push it in the first place. Oh well. That's spilling coffee on me. So yeah, just enjoying the sim. All right. Let's see. I do have stuff. Not a whole lot. Oh, there's a one up there. Let me go ahead and kick this news out, whatever it shall be. Ooh, breaking news, actually. Israeli jets strike Gaza. That apparently is ongoing right now. Or just had happened, one of the two. Okay. I only have, looks like 5 tabs open for you tonight. Not a whole lot. There wasn't really a big amount of news today, really. But it's Monday. I mean, there was, but at the same time, you know, they're coming full force when it comes to these shootings and stuff. They're going after the guns full force, and I hope people are ready for it. And I'm telling you, it ain't going to make a damn bit of difference what you do. It doesn't matter how much money you donate to the NRA or any other organization. Doesn't matter if you call your local representatives. None of that's going to make a damn bit of difference because they do what they want. And they've only placated people up to this point into thinking, you might have a little bit of say. Well, guess what? Those days are over. You are going to see them push through, ramrod every one of their agendas, regardless of what you think or anyone else. It's not going to be a fun time. I can tell how the stance that they have right now, it's a very... I'm trying to think of I can't think of the right word, but kind of like a powerful stance is in they're not going anywhere, and they don't have to go anywhere. Why? What are you going to do? Really? Man. Folks probably shouldn't joke with themselves about being able to take on the government. That's pretty stupid, to be honest. Man, it wouldn't even... wouldn't even take them a matter of minutes, and we'd all be screwed. I'll tell you what's concerning. I don't know exactly what it is going on, but I know that MonkeyWorks has been following a number of flights that are survey flights, is what he's calling them. And there are like thousands of them that are going on. And, they're basically taking up an aircraft and they're flying a grid, right? And clearly there's some type of sensors on the aircraft to take whatever, collect whatever kind of data that they're after. But, a lot of the things that I've heard people claim that it is, no, they don't do those things that way. For instance, people talk about the doing the topography and stuff like that, elevation maps and stuff like that. They can do all that stuff from satellite now, and the accuracy is uncanny. They don't need to fly planes over the country for anything to do with mapping. They've got that taken care of. Both above and below the ground, they have that well taken care of, well mapped out. There is a lot of interesting things going on, and I think we really better be getting ourselves in a mindset that we're going to be on our own. We're going to have to, I believe, get in a mindset to where we're going to have to deconnect. I've long said, I've joked about all these different, whether they be products, software programs, whatever, where individuals will come out and they'll rant and rave about how big of a security risk they are and all of that. Well, for instance, DJI drones, right? DJI not collecting our data. What are they going to get? From me, what are they going to get? Like sunsets? Ooh, right? They're going to get a whole lot. Okay, so let's skip me because I'm nobody. How about search and rescue? How about search and rescue that might use a DJI drone? What kind of data are they going to collect from them? Oh, yeah. Nothing but a search and rescue. So, you see, they're not talking about utilizing the DJI drones to do surveillance work for, and when I say surveillance work, I'm talking about like military surveillance work. I'm not talking about law enforcement, because law enforcement absolutely will use DJI products, and they do. They usually use like the matrice line, which is a much, much, much bigger animal than like what I have. I just have a consumer series, but we are not equipped to deal with them. And I don't think you'd get enough people smart enough to take their damn cell phone out of their pocket before they went and got stupid. My advice to folks is just be ready to be self-sustainable for a while, stay hidden out for a while. But remember, that's not the key to it. Staying hidden is not the key to it. Staying hidden is just unfortunately something that you'll probably have to do for a while. The key to it is letting the dust settle and then rebuilding. Rebuilding being the key. And you're not going to do that by yourself. You're not going to do that with your little crew. You're going to have to do that with other individuals that aren't within your circle. I keep going on and on about this because it's important. And the amount of time we have left is getting shorter quickly. And people need to get their heads on straight with this. You've got so many people out there hell-bent for violence, hell-bent for war because this channel, that channel, this movie, that movie. There's going to be a lot of quote-unquote badass, heartbroken people because they spent far too much time and money worrying about how to kill other things than how to help other things. Because being a Billy Badass, it's going to turn everybody away at your gate. Sounds good at the moment when you're not in that situation. But when you see a dying child right in front of you, that you have the ability to intervene and help, you're going to say, get the hell off my property? So let's say you spent all your money on the bullets and the Band-Aids, but bullets and the beans, but you didn't get any Band-Aids. So now you can't help save this child's life. That's why I rail against all these brilliant, genius prepper channels and their Hollywood idea of what SHTF is like. Because you've got Hollywood and you've got a bunch of people that's actually wrote about their life experiences going through it, and the two are not nowhere near the same. Not anywhere near the same. So while these folks are trying to prep you for a movie, I'm trying to prep you for being an asset and for being a good steward for the Father. You know, or you can just go blow the hell out of everything, whichever sounds, you know, more productive. Anyway, I'm not saying don't be ready to blow the hell out of things. Damn well be ready to blow the hell out of things. Be the best damn blower the hell out of things in your local. But don't forget, there's a day that you no longer have to blow the hell out of things. And you have to rebuild. Anyway, I could get going on that topic forever and ever and ever because it's important. It's important. People are being misled, being completely misled. You know, these people are doing this because if they continue to fearmonger people, if they keep having all those fearful thoughts in their titles of their videos and the scary thumbnail pictures that people click on, and if they come up with their new rash of bullshit about the subject, they're doing it for clicks so they can make money. They're not trying to help you. They were trying to help you, they would be telling you the true information, the real information, not this Hollywood fantasy bullshit that sounds good in their heads. Look into there's, thousands and thousands of books that people have wrote on the topic. People that have gone through these types of situations. Several books on the Great Depression you can read and see how it was. Did everybody just go full on Al Capone gangsta during the Great Depression? No, they didn't. Was there an increase in violence and crime and all that? Absolutely. Absolutely. But did it go full on Mad Max? Not even close. And it's not going to this time either. It's Hollywood fantasy bullshit. And they keep doing it because people keep clicking on it. I don't get it. The group that now talks all about boycotting this company and that company and all that can't even boycott a YouTube channel. Anyway, I'm not necessarily speaking to you guys because, well, you guys deserve some kind of trophy or something for putting up with my ass. That's a fact. But you guys are hungry for truth. And that's what's important. That's what I'm after. I'm after people that are hungry for truth. Not Hollywood bullshit, not being entertained. I could entertain the shit out of you. Trust me, I could. But I'm not interested in that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I wasn't sent here to do that. And I'm not going to intentionally screw up again with my word to the Father. That doesn't go over so well. Anyway, I've got 5 tabs open. Yippee-yay. A woman lost in Australian wilderness survives on wine. Yeah, no joke. No joke. Australian woman Lillian Ip, 48, survived for 5 days deep in the Australian bush by eating candy and drinking a single bottle of wine, she has told the media. I didn't read the candy over. I said only wine. Sorry. That was wrong. Last Sunday, Ip took a wrong turn soon after setting off on what was supposed to be a brief trip in Victoria State, only for her car to become stuck in heavy mud. After discovering that she was unable to call for help due to a lack of cell phone service, Ip, who is a teetotaler, whatever the hell that... Okay, we got to know what a teetotaler is, because without that knowledge, we may never understand. Oh, a person who never drinks alcohol. Okay, well, I'm a teetotaler. I didn't even know that. Decided to sustain herself with the only form of nourishment available to her, a single bottle of wine and candy, which were meant to be gifts for her mother. You bitch! You consumed her gifts. No, I'm kidding. Relax. Fearing the worst, Ip even wrote a letter to her family telling them that she loved them. But after 5 days in the wilderness, she was rescued by emergency services, who spotted her from the skis as part of an aerial search. She was taken to the hospital where she was treated for dehydration, but has since been released. I thought I was going to die there, she told 9 News Australia after she was found, adding that she was about to give up and that she felt as if her whole body shut down. Ip, who used her car's heater to stay warm overnight, was found 37 miles from the nearest town, Victoria Police said. They added that health issues that prevented her from moving too far away from her car were a vital factor in her successful rescue. She used great common sense to stay with her car and not wander off into bushland, which assisted in police being able to find her, said Wodonga Police Station Sergeant Martin Torpe. He added that he rescued the woman, was extremely relieved and grateful when emergency workers arrived at the scene. And after nursing no more than a bottle of wine and some candy over the course of her unscheduled layoff in the Victoria bush, Ip's first request upon her rescue seemed appropriate. First thing that came to mind was water and a cigarette, she told 9 News. Thank God for the policewoman, she had a cigarette. Right on, lady. Right on. So, Steve, we talk about all this crazy prepping shit, and she survived on a bottle of wine and candy. Remember that. Part of your EDC from now on. You always have to carry wine and candy. Hey, if anybody's got a problem with it, just show them this article. I'm sure that this woman will make sure that she has an EDC in the trunk of every one of her vehicles. A big box of wine, right? Let's see. No, it was just for her, I guess, what was it, her mother? I guess it was a gift for her mother. She doesn't drink. Apparently this person doesn't drink. So yeah, it was a bottle of wine that was meant to be gifts. Yeah, there it is, for her mother. So, wasn't even for her. Yeah, it's messed up, man. It is, absolutely messed up. All right, let's see. All right. And then we run right into the propaganda articles. So there's a lot. And of course, you guys know I use RT for the most part when I do news. And yes, RT is going to jump both feet first any chance that they get to propagandize the American people. I got no problem understanding that, knowing that, and just having the common sense to discern it as I go through their stuff. So the reason for me saying that is because you better believe, you better believe that if China or Russia or anyone else could encourage us to give up our weapons, they damn well will. That's a no-brainer. So you kind of have to understand that going in. The U.S. has seen 201 mass shootings in the first 128 days of 2023, White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre claimed during a press briefing on Monday, citing leading accounts. Now, there's another, well, it's actually up top. Let me continue and I'll get to it. Saturday's massacre at an outlet mall in Allen, Texas, which left 8 people dead and 7 injured, allegedly marked the 201st mass shooting of the year. Now, they love to play with numbers. They love to play with a whole lot of numbers. Credible estimates show that more than 14,000 people have died this year from gun violence. This is a crisis. It is a crisis the Republicans in Congress are refusing to address, Jean-Pierre said. Oh, they're not refusing to address it at all. Hell no, they're not refusing to address it. How many billions of dollars have we sent to Ukraine and weapons? But let me get this straight. The Ukrainians need those weapons to protect themselves against people that may want to do them harm. But we don't need anything to protect ourselves from people who intend to do us harm. And I've only got a couple of words for the government on that. Fuck and off. U.S. police speculate on Texas mall shooters' beliefs. I mean, now, again, RT is going to jump in if they can when it comes to propaganda, especially when it comes to the gun violence thing and all that. They've always been that way. It's beneficial for other nations for us to be disarmed. Very beneficial. But I have pointed out in detail how they have been doing everything they can to keep the identity of the suspects quiet until they've had well enough time to go through and wipe out anything they can find, social media, anything. And then they keep trying to twist the story every time. Well, we did pretty good, meaning everybody that have critical thought and questioned this stuff. You know, we did good. But here as of late, we can't get any information at all. And it's becoming very obvious to me what they're doing. They are absolutely controlling the narrative, regardless of why these shootings happen, who it is that does them. I mean, just take a look at the Nashville shooting and how they keep manipulating the blame on that. Well, if I'm not mistaken, I believe the blame is the person who shot the fucking gun. When you hold a sign that's got guns, silhouettes of guns on it, and says something about trans something or else, that's pretty fucking clear of your motive. But you wouldn't have known about that if they would have gotten to her social media accounts a little quicker than they did. You wouldn't have known a damn thing about that. In fact, you would have probably gotten a very contrasting story, much like the one I feel we're getting now about Mauricio Garcia, the Mexican white supremacist. Hey, I said it. The Mexican white supremacist. Yeah, that's what they're saying. Apparently. And maybe I don't know the guy. I don't know the guy. But I know that I damn well ain't going to believe anything the government or media has to say. Especially when they do such a damn good job of hiding stuff. Now, I didn't do this. I haven't been doing my due diligence, folks. Hey, I've been enjoying some leisure time. It is what it is. Let's see. Let's see what Heavy has to say. 33 years old, killed 8 people. This here says leave behind a trail of racist and anti-Semitic writings. He could have been. Let's see. Okay, sorry, I was just kind of reading and I was having a little bit of problem because of names and stuff. They're hard for me to read, so. Apparently, I mean, Heavy said, I've never known Heavy not to be straight. What I'm trying to see, what I'm looking for is anywhere where it looks like Heavy got information their own, on their own. That's what I'm looking for. Okay. I'm just looking. Sorry for the silence. Yeah, I mean, a lot of this stuff is these people are reporting, those people are reporting. I'm not seeing anything, see, everything is they reported, and I'm sorry for all the silence here, but let me point something out to you. Garcia had an extensive social media presence that included neo-Nazi and white supremacist-related posts and images that authorities believed he shared online, according to a tweet from CNN reporter Josh Campbell. So this isn't Heavy that saw this stuff. This is according to a tweet from a CNN reporter. So you see what I'm saying here? And then we go on to say the New York Times reported that Garcia had social media pages rife with hate-filled rants against women and black people, including a profile that matched his information on the social media site OK.ru that includes language praising Hitler with references to neo-Nazi websites like the Daily Stormer. Again, this is the New York Times reported, right? Everything is based upon what mainstream media is reporting. Now, I'm not saying necessarily that this guy wasn't a white supremacist or anything like that. I'm just saying the way that they're handling stuff is suspect as hell. And I knew they had been working their way towards doing this, trying to block us from any and all information, because they have an agenda, and it wasn't going too well for them. So now they're going to have to control all information. Neighbors say he was quiet, always acted unusual. That's... Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy, though. It's absolutely mind-blowing. But I'm not going to sit here like a lot of other channels and tell you how you need to be so scared and you need to start taking your bulletproof vest with you to go grocery shopping. Nope. If you need a bulletproof vest right now today to go grocery shopping, you need to fucking move. What you need is a U-Haul. One-way U-Haul. That's what you need. Be capable of bringing the word to anybody who seeks it. But don't set out for war. Shifting gears here a little bit. Italy urges citizens to leave Ukraine. Italy's foreign ministry in Kiev has advised its citizens to leave Ukraine immediately, citing increasingly heavy missile attacks from Russia in a message posted to Viager, I don't know how that's pronounced, Security website on Monday. Compatriots, damn it, still in Ukraine are strongly advised to use the means still available, including trains, to leave the country immediately at times when the curfew is not in force. The message reads, warning that missile attacks have been recorded both in Kiev and throughout Ukraine. Extreme caution is advised. All travel to Ukraine in any capacity is strongly discouraged, it added. Says operated by a crisis unit of the Farnesina, Italy's foreign ministry. The country recalled its non-essential staff from the Ukrainian embassy last year when Russia began its military operation, pointedly urging Italians to avoid the Donetsk and Lugansk regions and Crimea. So, I don't know if they're aware of anything. I have a feeling, though, it is going to light up. I really do think. I do think there is going to be a major offensive. But I pretty well think that that's going to be the last big hoorah for Ukraine. I really do, because I think Putin's going to kick the shit out of them. Yeah, I'm not taking sides. I wouldn't take a side. Killing is wrong, period. But I'm telling you how I see the scoreboard. Europe's largest nuclear power plant dormant, says governor. Now, there's a lot of fear-mongering going on about this, too. They idled the plant so that if it comes under attack, they don't have more of a problem to deal with. So they idled the plant. They put it on, they call it hot standby. So that's pretty much all they've done. You know, it doesn't mean that there couldn't be things that happen, situations that happen that wouldn't still cause a lot of risk. But it's much different having that plant idled than running full force if it gets hit by a mortar attack. You know, of course, there are certain things that if they hit those, it's game over for everybody in the area. If they hit anything housing spent fuel rods or something like that, it's going to be game over for a large area for a very long time. However, that's not what's happened or anything like that. There's a lot of fear-mongering going on over this. They idled this as a precautionary measure. Again, it doesn't mean that nothing could happen. I mean, really, there's not really much difference as to the severity of how it would be whether or not the plant was running during an incident or if it was not. And I'm referring to like the spent fuel rods getting exposed to open air. That's what I'm referring to. It really, when something like that happens, it ain't gonna make a damn bit of difference whether or not that reactor's running at the time or not. You're screwed. All that's gonna mean is even more screwed. But it ain't gonna make a difference because you're already screwed. So, I mean, I don't know. I do have concerns over this plant, but of course I've got concerns over the biolabs as well. So, I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it. Anyway, got some headlines for you. I figure I'll run through them, get done, and relax. So, get up probably again in the morning and do another flight somewhere. I don't know where, what, how. I did some New Zealand flying today. That was fun. So, I went there because that was like the last update. The last world update we got was New Zealand. And so that's why I went there, because everybody's at the current world update, which is like Hawaii and all these other places. So there was like, I think I saw like one other guy in New Zealand. Let's see. Oops. Let's see. I'm trying to click off of stuff. Here we go. Okay. Okay, question is, do I think back in biblical times that people really lived to be hundreds of years old, and then maybe we're just not living that long because of what we eat, meds we take? And that's a good question. I don't know. And I'm just, one thing I am not going to do is bullshit somebody about Scripture. I honestly don't know on the age thing. There are a lot of things in Scripture, obviously, that aren't as it's written. They're parables, or they're, and there's a lot of other differences too, right? We don't use the same forms of measurements or anything like that today. So did people live hundreds of years old? I don't know. If you were to look at the Scripture on the surface, it would appear so. But there's a whole lot of things that people take literal from the Bible that isn't, nor was it intended to be taken literal. And there's a whole line of things. From walking on water to that was a parable. And most people will argue to death that he walked on water. And I'm not saying that he couldn't, that he doesn't possess the ability to do that. I'm just saying that's not what that scripture meant. And not everybody's supposed to get that stuff. That is what it is. But when it comes to the age thing, see, one thing that I have to ask when someone would ask that question is, are you talking about just humans as we know it? Or are you including possible hybrid races? Are you including like the Anunnaki as an example? Because once we start breaking into that kind of stuff, I can tell you that the Anunnaki absolutely lived hundreds of years. And even the hybrids had longer life. They also had a lot of deformities, a lot of health issues, because it wasn't, you just couldn't breed those two animals. Were animals. You just couldn't breed those two animals together and have a, what's the word I'm looking for? Compatible fit. So there's a lot of deformities, a lot of crazy stuff like that. But as far as human beings, humans alone, I don't know. I honestly don't know. And that's something I have thought about, something I have tried to get answers on. I have an opinion, and my opinion is no. That the human beings of those times lived as long as human beings normally live. Well, roughly. I think they had a shorter lifespan back then, probably around 50 to 60 years. But again, I'm speaking of just the humans. So, I mean, Jesus' disciples didn't live hundreds of years, did they? No. The disciples had a normal human lifespan because they were just humans. That's probably one of the quickest, easiest things I could reference to kind of show you a bit of evidence of where I'm coming from. Yeah, Moses supposedly did, on some accounts. Again, you have to understand what is parable, what is literal. And I think when it talked about Moses, I don't think it meant about physical years. I think it meant something much different. Much different. Spiritual years, for one. Spiritual years. But, was Moses like hundreds of years old? I don't think so. I'll have to dig into him some more. Let me dig into him, see what I can dig up about Moses and things around Moses. You see what I'm saying? Because a lot of times that's how you'll get the truth, right? That's how you'll find the right answers. Is it won't be by looking directly at it. It will be by looking at the things around it. The whole walking on water thing. If you look at everything around it, you figure out what that really means. No, I'm not giving that one away. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to give away some of that stuff. Anyway, let's do some headlines. World food prices rising again, says United Nations. I didn't bring that up to talk about it because we talk about that crap too often as it is. Keep getting ready. That's not going to change. The West must be ready for unfavorable outcome in Ukraine, says Czech president. India to remain reliant on coal, says a report. Massive drone and missile strikes reported in Ukraine. I didn't actually catch that one, or else I would have brought it up. I actually missed that one entirely. I didn't. Okay. EU plans to punish China for trade with Russia, says Financial Times. Normally that's something I would have picked up on, and I would have actually read into that article. I would have did a little bit of looking here and there, and 6 killed by wildfires in Russia's Urals, says TASS. See, I'm slacking on the job because I'm playing games. Turkey reiterates stance on Russia's sanctions, says media. Crazy thing, Lula criticizes imprisonment of Assange. Italy calls for clear apology from France. Could you kiss my ass a little nicer, please? Well, that's kind of what they're saying. Kremlin responds to Ukraine's threat to kill Russians around the world. Era of cheap flights is over, says travel agent. Immortal Regiment parades held across Europe. European nation to accept Bitcoin for payments to state, says media. Caribbean island not totally free under King Charles, says PM. Sydney Opera House cries poverty to coronation demands. U.S. can't explain what happened to Nord Stream, says Russia. Ukraine cancels traditional holiday celebrating defeat of Nazis. Russian rainy day fund growing, says finance ministry. General who captured Che Guevara dies. Not capturing him, that was done a long time ago. Russia's deal with West is key to Ukraine conflict end, says Erdogan aide. China won't forget NATO's barbaric actions in Yugoslavia. Like I said, man, we've got a very tainted history in a lot of places on this planet. It's going to come back to bite us. AI more urgent risk than climate change, says former Google engineer. A new weapon changing course of Ukraine conflict, says Telegraph. German court reimposes ban on Russian flag. Police speculate on Texas mall shooter's beliefs. Woman lost in Australian wilderness survives on... Oh, I read that article to you. Let's see. Ukraine will get stripped down U.S. tanks, says media. Let's see. I've read a lot of these to you. Thousands march against gun violence in Serbia. Multiple foreign leaders to attend victory parade in Moscow. And U.S. threatened World War II vets over Victory Day parade, says envoy. I told you earlier about Israel striking Gaza. Aside from that, that's some about Westminster Dog Show. We don't care about that. And that is, that's everything. All of it. Fun times. It is what it is. Just keep at it. Keep getting ready. Ain't none of us know that day that it's going to be the last day that we can keep getting ready. Just make sure that you don't regret that day. Just do your best to make sure that you don't regret that day. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here. I'm ready for bed. And God willing, I'll talk to you all tomorrow. So, hope you all have a good night. I appreciate you coming. Hope to see you tomorrow. As always, God bless you. We love you. Be one with your spirit. And shalom.